Hi, my name is Jovan Popovic, and I'm Program Manager in SQL Server Group. I'm working on new SQL Server 2016 feature we are calling Temporal. Today we will see what is Temporal and how you can use it in your applications. So, why we have introduced Temporal? The fact is that your data sources are dynamic. You have records that are changed over time, and in some cases you need to see what was the previous version of record, how your table looked a year ago, a month ago, or yesterday. There are many situations where we will need this. As an example, just look at data auditing. If you need to create some kind of system when you need to know for each record when it was changed, what was the previous version, what fields are changed, you will need to use something like Temporal. Also, Temporal enables you to have some new types of analysis. As an example, with Temporal, you can just go back in time and see how your table looked a year ago or a month ago. Or if you need to do some kind of analysis, like see how your prices in your products changed over time, you can do some interesting analysis like trend analysis, compare prices in different points of time. Another interesting feature is row level correction. Imagine that somebody just changed some record in your table and you need to immediately find what was the previous version and then correct this error. With Temporal, you can do it very easy. You can just go to any point of time in the past, find previous version of your data and just revert it back. If you're working in data warehousing scenarios, you can use Temporal in slowly changing the dimensions. This is perfect fit for this use case. If you want to create this kind of system in older version SQL Server, this might be a little challenging. If you want to implement history tracking, you might need to add some complex database logic, replace your queries with some complex stored procedures or triggers, and this might be hard to implement. Also, once you implement this, and if you want to do some kind of data analysis on historical data, you will need to create some complex queries with complex analysis, and it will be very hard to maintain that kind of queries. Another problem is schema maintenance. Imagine that you need to add new column, remove column, make any change in your database schema. You will need to change your tables, all your stored procedures and triggers that use these tables. Another big problem is data protection. Imagine that you have a history and you need to ensure that nobody can change your history. You will need to use some complex security policies that protects your history from access from third parties. With new temporal tables in SQL Server 2016, this is a very easy process. Temporal table enables you to have automatic and optimal history tracking. Temporal tables will just take your records and automatically move them into history part. If you want to do some data analysis, we are adding new simple system clauses in the SQL queries that can just enable you to go back in time and see how some record looked a year ago or a month ago. Schema maintenance is also very simple. If you just change any schema of your temporal table, if you add new column, it will be done automatically without any maintenance job. In addition, data protection is guaranteed. Nobody can change data in your history table, so you can ensure that your history is protected from external access. How you can use temporal tables in SQL Server 2016? First, we are providing simple syntax for creating temporal tables. You can just create a new table and mark it as temporal. If you have existing tables and you want to track history on that table, you can just alter table and mark it as temporal. These are simple DDL statements with just some simple additional query clauses. Once you create temporal table, nothing is changed in your programming model. You can have all your DML statements like select, insert, update, delete, and you can use them as usual. Nothing will change your external apps. Your external apps will not be aware that this is temporal table. What will happen behind the scene is that if you do some update or delete, temporal table will find rows that will be updated, take them, and move them into some history part. Why is this important? Because we are adding new query clauses like as of, from, to, or all, where you can just go back into history and see what was version of rows in month ago or year ago. So we are not changing programming model for existing queries, but we are adding additional queries that you can use to have some kind of time travel analysis. Now, let's see it in action. In this example, we will see some standard web application where we are showing products from some table. So this is some regular web page that you can find in any web application. You can just sort results, use pagination, filter results. So nothing special. You can easily create this application with any table. But if you have a temporal table, you will have some additional functionalities. An example, I want to know entire history of all records. So I can just find some record, pick it and expand it. Here in this table, I can see what was changed, when it is changed. I can see that I have 3 changes of this product, and I see that price and quantity was changed over time. So with Temporal, it is extremely easy just to pick one record and find what are the previous versions, what are the changes. Also, if I want to see how this product table looked 3 months ago or 6 months ago, I can simply go back to history and see that in November I had only 4 records. Or in August, I had 4 records, but I didn't have colors and size properties entered here. Or I can go back in May, when I didn't have any record. Now, interesting thing here is that if I go to November and take this snapshot of data, I can do any standard operation like on current data set. So I can sort the results by color, by size, search records by keyword. So I have all SQL queries supported in this case. I'm just working on snapshot of data with 3 months ago. Now, if I see some records from 3 months ago, I can easily see what are the changes between this record and today's version. So I can see in these records what is today's price, what is today's quantity, and compare this information with values that were valid 3 months ago. So you can create this application with current SQL Server and current table, but you might need to add a lot of logic and very complex queries to do this. With temporal tables in new SQL Server 2016, this is extremely easy. Okay, so to create this kind of application, first I need a temporal table. Temporal table is similar to any other table in SQL Server. I just need to create one table, define all columns that I need in my web page, like name, color, size, price, or quantity. And then I need to add some small parts that will define properties of this temporal table. First thing I need to do is to add valid from column and valid to column. These are 2 columns, datetime 2 columns, that will define when some row version was valid in some point of time. Also, I need to add this period for system time clause, where I will specify that valid from and valid to column will define when some row was valid. Once I create these 2 columns in this period for system time, I just need to turn on system versioning. So now when I have this temporal table, let's see how can I get data from it. I'm using existing temporal table. You can see it here. If you open Management Studio, you'll see that this temporal table is marked with system versioned label. If you see this label, you'll know that some table has system versioning or temporal settings. If you open this table, you can see that there is another subtable where we are keeping a history of your changes. In my case, I have a table product in schema history, and it is marked with history. So what we have here? We have a primary table that is system versioned, that has some columns, and I have a history table that has exactly the same columns as a primary table. Whenever I change some value in this primary table, old version will just go into this history. Now I can either query product table or history table. Let's see this in some examples. First, I will execute this query. Here, I'm selecting minimal valid from value from a history product table. So this is a history. And this way, I can find when the first record in this product table was changed or inserted. Now, as you can see, it was May 2015. So probably first record was inserted in that point in time. Now I know in what time period I have all my records and when I had some changes. So now it is easily just to go back in history and see how my table looked a year ago or a month ago or 3 months ago. We have a new for system time as of clause that is added to the select query. This clause enables me just to go back in time in May 2015 and see how my table looked in that point of time. So I can see that in May I had 4 records and I didn't have populated sizes and only blade has silver column. Now, if I just execute this query without for system time as of clause, I will get the current state of my table. So currently, I have more records here. So with this system time as of clause, I can easily go to any point of time and just see how this data set looks in that point of time. Another interesting new thing is for system time all clause. Imagine that I want to see all changes that I made in product record. So I can pick one product with ID 1 and add this for system time all clause. If I execute this query, I can see what are the changes that are made on this product. So here we can see that this product is changed 6 times. We can see that prices and quantities were changed. We can see when, for each version, when it was changed, and we can see what are the changes. Now, another interesting feature is what happens if I update some product. In this case, current price of product with ID 1 is 120. Now I will return it to 100. So nothing is changed. I have no changes in update statement. I can use it as any update statement on any other table. And now if I go and execute this query again, I can see that record with previous price is now in history. It was modified now. And the current version of this record has price 100. If I just remove this for system time all clause, I will see that current price is 100. So temporal table will automatically take previous version of row, put it in this history table. So when I need to have entire history of some product, I can easily see both current data and historical data. Okay, so thank you for watching this demo. I hope that you find it useful. If you want to learn more about Temporal, you can see our blog post on the TechNet site. You can see our Channel 9 video where you can see details about Temporal, or you can check out our official documentation on MSDN. Thank you for watching this, and I hope you will find Temporal useful.